Hello, Erica here, and I am back with more Vlogmas, and today I have a review. This is a review that I promised in my November wrap-up, and it is Nicotine by Nell, Zink. I received this as my Book of the Month pick for November, and I am glad I chose it. I originally saw this on Mercedes' channel from Mercy's Bookish Musings, I think in one of her anticipated releases videos, and then literally 3 days later it was one of the Book of the Month picks, so I chose this one for myself this month. And first of all, let's talk about the cover because it's super badass. So now that that's out of the way, this was originally published in October of this year. It is about 280 pages long, so not that long at all. And this is the story of Penny. And pretty much the first thing that happens to Penny in the book is that her father, Norman Baker, passes away. Penny comes from quite a dysfunctional family. Her father was kind of a voodoo healer. He had a treatment center for cancer patients that involved, not voodoo per se, but kind of herbal remedies and things of that nature. He is referred to in the book often as a dirty hippie. Her mother is quite a bit younger than her father and was very young when Penny was born. And Penny has two older brothers from a previous marriage of her father's, and her brothers are basically the same age as their stepmother, who is Penny's mother. So their family dynamic already is a little weird. Their family history is a little bit strange. So Penny is an adult, kind of right out of college at the beginning of this book. She's looking for a job. She doesn't really have a place to live yet, or, the security. So she's in her mid-20s, and your mid-20s suck. So that's what's going on with Penny. When her father dies, there's no will, but there was a bit of money and a few properties in the family. So the siblings kind of start talking about what they're going to do with the properties, and Penny offers to go look at one of the houses that Norman owned, which was his childhood house in Jersey City. When Penny gets there, she realizes that a kind of anarchist squatter community has taken over the house and has been living there. And instead of identifying herself as, a member of the family who owns the house, she kind of joins this community and gets sucked into it very quickly. From there, things kind of devolve while the siblings continue to fight over the property, and Penny continues to defend the squatters, and it's all kind of a mess. I enjoyed this book. I gave it 3 stars overall. It was a fast little read. It was very intriguing. It's not like any other story I've read before. Squatters are kind of new territory for my reading. So that was interesting. I did have a few issues with it, however. I felt that the character development was a little too hasty, and that the relationship dynamics felt a little forced and a little rushed, if that makes sense. So when Penny arrives at the squatter community, she immediately is best friends with everyone and falls in love and everything, and it just, I'm sure that it's supposed to be from this perspective that she's it's not like we go from one day to the next day. She's been there for weeks, but it didn't feel like that to me. It felt like on day one, Penny was like, "Hi, I'm your best friend now, and also I love you," which was a little strange and just felt a little forced and a little rushed to me. That's the main issue I had with the way the book is set up and laid out. The story, though, and the characters themselves are really interesting. The book is a little bit gritty. There's a little bit of kind of sexual deviance going on between some of the characters. One of the characters is set up in the beginning as asexual, which I was pleased about because I'm always happy to see kind of diverse representation in books. Unfortunately, that didn't go the way I expected, and that character eventually is revealed as not asexual at all, and I felt like that was a little bit of cop-out, sort of a baiting technique, which bothered me a little bit. So I wasn't very pleased with that element of the story. But the other characters I felt like were very complex and very fully realized. They all had kind of their own faults. But yeah, I had some issues with the way that the relationship dynamics developed. I had some issues with kind of that baiting element with this asexual character who, oops, not asexual at all. He just had to quit drinking and smoking, and now he can have sex. Great. And he's attracted to women. I also had issues with the one character. There's one character in the book who's kind of insane. He's a really bad person, and he's set up throughout the book to be like this really terrible person and this very selfish person. And I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil it, but it's revealed that like mental illness runs in his family and that he's probably very mentally ill himself. And I didn't necessarily agree with the portrayal of mental illness equals terrible person. So again, there were some problems that I had with this book. That being said, though, I didn't hate it. I enjoyed the story overall. I really enjoyed Penny as a character, which was a huge redeeming quality for this book for me, because Penny is the character who you spend the most time with. So I enjoyed that. There are a couple of other kind of side characters. One was named Jazz and one was named Sorry, and I really enjoyed them as well. I liked kind of this gritty look of life that Nell Zink gives us in this book, and I liked that it was different from something that I've read before. So all that being said, I did give it 3 stars. I liked it. I would just like to be very forthright about the fact that there are some problematic things involving gender representation and the representation of mental illness in this book, which I was not expecting going into it, but surprises. So, if you have read this book and would like to talk about it in the comments, let's do that. If you have any questions for me, please do let me know, and I will be back soon with more Vlogmas. Thanks so much for watching.